Hello and welcome to my brand new YouTube channel, Danielle's Best Florida Life. My name is Danielle Garrigan and I am so glad that each and every single one of you are here with me today. Since launching just last week, I'm already up to 5 subscribers. I'm kind of starting to feel like I'm going viral already. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you would like to be number 6, 7, 8, 9, or make me really happy and fill up both of my hands, all you have to do to subscribe is tap on the little boat that's going to come up at the end of this video in the left hand corner of your screen. And you too can join me wherever it is that I go this upcoming year. Hey, speaking of upcoming year, happy new year, everyone. It's January 4th, 2018, and I hope everybody was able to start off the year with a bang. And I wish each and every single one of you much happiness this upcoming season. Now, as for my husband Ron and I'm going to be very honest. We started out the new year sleeping, and I'm sure I'm not alone there, but unfortunately it was because my husband had a really nasty cold. So he's on the mends now, and we were able to get out and enjoy a movie yesterday afternoon, followed by a slice of pizza. So obviously there isn't any dieting New Year's resolutions here, but I do still want to live a happy, healthy life with some treats in between, because we're not really living unless we're living, right? So the plan is to eventually get out there and take you on some sites so you can see some of the things that I'm seeing firsthand. Most of the things will be for the very first time from my eyes, because I am new to the Florida area. However, today I'm talking to you from my media room simply because I want to tell you a little bit about me and give you an unedited history so you can understand a little bit more about myself and what this channel is going to be like. In yesterday's, or last week's I should say, introductory video, I had mentioned that my husband and I moved down here to simplify our lives and to make things less complicated, which is a really awesome thing to do. It's so important to us to live a less is more lifestyle. But I wanted to share with you exactly how we got to this place, because it wasn't always this way. And some people even right now think that we were absolutely crazy for making a move like this, and maybe even think that it wasn't something that was thought out, but it really was a lot of years in the making. And in fact, there were even times that we tried to force it to happen. But when God says no, he means no. And we're firm believers that you're going to get one of 3 answers from God when he talks to you. And that's going to either be yes, no, or yes, but not right now. And for a very long time, the timing just wasn't right. But when we revisited the idea of moving here years later, things really took off. So just know that when he does say yes, he really means it. And things can happen so quickly to the point that your family and friends think that you're absolutely nuts. But like I said, it really was years in the making. So unedited, here we go. When I was 11 years old, a seed was planted within me. Little did I know that that seed was going to grow over the years. At 11 years old, I had taken my very first trip to Florida, my first plane ride. What an exciting adventure for a child, with my grandmother. And from that moment forward, I had a genuine love for the Florida area. I am now 44 years young, and a lot of life has happened in between, and the want to move just never went away. Fortunately for me, when I met my husband back in 1995, I had told him right off the bat that I love to travel. And I knew that he was the one when his answer or his response to me was, just tell me where you want to go and I'll get you there. So from that moment forward, we were pretty much joined at the hip. And fortunately for me, he shared a passion for the South and was very open to relocating to a warmer place. We had stayed in Wisconsin back then and raised our family. Our family is a blended family, so we didn't want to take the children away from their other parents or have them taken away from us. So we stayed in Wisconsin and we did what we were called to do. I owned a successful daycare. Together we did foster care for around 6 years, and my husband had a very stable, good job in Wisconsin. So life was really good. But we still had this urge, this nagging feeling like we needed to do something more with our lives. It had gotten to the point over time that as a family and as a couple, we had done just about every gas tank getaway you could possibly do. We lived in a small town. We wanted some more adventure, to be honest, and we just knew that there was more out there for us. We had started looking more seriously at relocating years and years ago. So the people that are our closest friends and in our inner circle know that has not been an overnight process. As I mentioned, others think that we're maybe a little cray-cray for what we did. But we had tried to force it, and as I had mentioned, God said, nope, not right now, maybe eventually, but not now. We had a cabin and we had tried to put it up for sale, and it didn't sell, and it didn't sell, and it didn't sell. So we knew that there was still more work to be done in Wisconsin, and that our time there just hadn't been up yet. I had gotten involved in a lot of different things. I got to have my first mission experience with my church, going to Cambodia, and I knew from that moment forward that missions was something that was always going to be in my heart. So I know what you're thinking. She's kind of jumping around, talking tree, hitting every branch along the way. What does Cambodia, what does missions, what does all of this have to do with relocating to Florida, living a less is more lifestyle, and so on and so forth. So maybe you're thinking that I'm a little cray-cray right now, and that's okay. Even though I talk tree, I promise you it always comes back around. So anyways, moving forward, I had that first mission experience in Cambodia, and it was nothing short of amazing. When I came back, I knew that it was something that was always going to be in my heart and something that I wanted to do. I hadn't really had any more opportunity after that for a little bit to do missions. And then a friend of mine that had been going back and forth to Haiti for over 16 years had invited me to go along on a trip. And for a while I had said no. I kind of made up the excuses, I guess, that it wasn't the right timing and financially, and you know how we make up excuses and we just don't follow through with things. Eventually, I finally had said yes and realized that no time was going to be a perfect time. So how missions ties into with us moving to Florida when it really began to start to happen, at least from my perspective. My husband may think differently and of course have his own story, but I started to sell things. I did fundraisers and other things as well, but I started to sell things and really reduce the amount of things that I had and minimalize my life. And having lived in a house from 1995 until 2016, it was at that point, I had accumulated a lot of stuff, a lot of clutter. We were clean, but we had a lot of stuff. So I started letting go and using that money that I raised to fund my mission trip. Little did I know that that would be the beginning of getting our house ready for sale to make a move. I went on the mission trip. Everything was a success. I fell in love with Haiti and the people of Haiti. I still support them today and plan on going back again and again and again. But that's a story for another day. I came back home from Haiti and I continued to purge belongings from our home. Some of them I sold and used for postage to get supplies to Haiti. Other things I sold and used towards bills just to reduce our debt. And I really started to like the less is more lifestyle and becoming in a way a minimalist, not to the point of just owning the stuff on my back because we still had a home and we still had belongings, but living with less. As I started to live with less and reduce the amount of debts that we had through selling things, as well as other smart choices my husband and I had made together, I started to feel less clutter in my mind, and I just started to feel better about things. After that, my husband and I had had a conversation. I had been going through the upstairs. I still didn't know that it was time to go to Florida, but I was really feeling this mission thing. So I started to go through our upstairs because all of our kids had been out of our home, and cleaning that out and repainting it and giving it fresh life. The idea was that I was going to have a little office up there so I could organize my mission work and supplies that I collected to send over and just have a personal space for myself. But I was feeling more and more pulled towards doing these missions. So I said to my husband, I said, we've been talking about moving to Florida for a long time. The conversation had never went away. We had just taken a vacation to Florida. Every time we were in Florida, and I think some of you can understand this, we'd talk about moving. But then we came back home, life happened, and we'd forget about it. So I had a conversation with my husband and I said, hey, I'm really feeling like it's time for me to move on from the career that I'm doing, but I need to know how far forward do I go with my mission work here at home with setting up shop and all of the things involved with that. Are we going to make this move? Because I don't want to go through all this work here in Wisconsin to have to uproot everything and leave and start all over in Florida. And he said that he didn't want to wait until we retired to make the move, that no time was going to be a perfect time to do it, and that he wanted to come while we were still young enough to do some things and really enjoy our lives here. So in that moment, I think a decision was really made. So we had put up our cabin for sale again previously. This is flashing back a touch, and God was starting to say yes. So doors were opening for us. We had put the cabin up for sale, and we never even had to get a sign out there with the real estate because our farmer bought it from us immediately. All we did was gave him a simple call to tell him, hey, we were going to sign with a real estate agent, and he said, stop, don't do that. I want this property really bad, and he bought it from us. So that was our first move forward kind of green light, I guess you could say. So after that point, we then purged some of the belongings in the house, as I said, cleaned things up, and we wanted to put the house up for sale. So we put the house up for sale, and when we put the house up for sale, we had no idea that it was literally going to sell overnight. All of the cleaning out of the house I did, all of the painting, I pretty much staged our house without realizing it, preparing it for sale. And we thought that it would be on the market for a little bit and we'd move to Florida in the fall. July 21st, we made the move to Florida because we didn't want to move and then move again. We had came down at the beginning of July and found an apartment until we could find a home to buy. And everything was really confirmed in that moment, which is a pretty neat thing for us. Because everything just happened so quickly. As I said before, when God says yes, he says yes, and he really means it. The first apartment that we looked at was the right one for us. We found a storage unit immediately. We went to Starbucks to get a simple cup of coffee, and a lady in the drive-through seen me inside and bought me a gift certificate for a future time at Starbucks, and told the guy to tell me that her name was Joy and that I was supposed to have a joyful day. It might sound like a simple thing, and how can that be a confirmation? Well, the house that we had just sold, I was having a little difficult time with that in my mind, because I had bought the house from some family friends. My best friend's name was Joy, and that was kind of my second house growing up as a child. So it had a lot of attachment and meaning to me. So knowing that I was being told to have a joyful day from a stranger that bought me a gift certificate, just in my heart was confirmation that it was okay to let go and that it was time to move on. So in a nutshell, that's kind of how Ron and I have landed here in Florida, and how we're continuing to carry on the less is more lifestyle. And people think that we're crazy, but when God says yes, he says yes, and he means it. And we've had a few bumps in the road along the way. We got down here and had to figure out how to get through a hurricane almost immediately, and things I can talk with you about in the future, and some challenges. But for the most part, it's been smooth sailing with a few bumps in the roads, things that are realistic and to be expected. But we're happy and we're healthy, and I'm just so excited to be here. So my plans are, when it comes to this channel, I want to get out there and I want to share some of Florida with you. I have a health history with me in the health field. I had mentioned that I had had a daycare, but while I had that daycare, I had been severely obese. I still struggle with weight today, but I have successfully lost 100+ pounds along the way. So I really, truly do want to live my best life in a happy, healthy way, as well as help you to live your best life in a happy, healthy way. So taking you on some of my adventures and my firsts following out my dreams, and trying to tackle the issue of obesity and keep myself in a healthy place. As I said, I'm struggling right now, so maybe even get myself back to a healthier place. I mean, we're real here, right? So I want to do all of those things with you, and just be the best us that we can be together. So today's video has been uncensored, uncut. I've maybe stumbled a little bit, talked a little bit of that tree that I had said before, and there's so much that I didn't say that I have yet to say, but I'm sure that now you can at least have an understanding of a little bit more of what I'm about and what you're going to see hanging around with me a little bit. So I hope that each and every single one of you have a happy, healthy day. Not all of these videos are going to be to this extent in length. Some of them are going to be longer. Some of them are going to be shorter. But I promise you they're going to all be of value and worth your time. Today I'd like to leave you with a question, because we are going to be going on a lot of first adventures today. So to think about your own health and wellness, when was the last time that you did something for the first time? I'd love for you to make that a personal challenge this week, wherever you are, and get out there and do something new. It might be something as simple as making a new recipe. It might be going on a new adventure to some place that you've never been. Whatever it is, I wish you tons of smiles and experience, and I hope you experience a lot of joy as you discover whether or not it's something that you like. If it's something that you dislike, remember you don't have to do it again. That's the best part about it. And if it is something that you like, you can always revisit it over and over and over again. So with that said, happy 2018, and I'll be talking to you soon.